What's going on YouTube? It is Rebulls back in another video. In today's video we have another major Chelsea news video. There's so much that kicked off within the last couple of hours, between the time I posted at 1 in the morning and now at 8 a.m. There's so much to discuss, a lot of positive stuff regarding Chelsea. We have a double Dutch swoop in the works, so that's definitely intriguing. So I say we just jump straight into it, starting with our first Dutch player, the name we've been talking about so much recently, Xavi Simons. Fabrizio says that Chelsea are advancing in talks with Xavi Simons on personal terms. Xavi keen on the move and open to joining Chelsea. Direct talks in progress to agree contract details and terms. Chelsea want to be fast ahead of club-to-club talks with Leipzig. We know club-to-club talks are bound to happen today. We're trying to negotiate a fee with Leipzig. Obviously probably won't be done today, but will be done sometime in the near future, I feel, with Xavi Simons. But he's keen on the move to Chelsea, very open to joining us, about to agree personal terms with us on contract details. Yeah, really exciting to see the player about to come through the door. I think it could be any day now that Xavi Simons becomes a Chelsea player, and y'all all know how I feel on Xavi Simons. I absolutely love the prospect. I also absolutely love the player and the profile. I think he's going to really excel playing that double 10 with Cole Palmer next season. If you want him playing off the left and allowing Cucurella to kind of overlap instead of invert, that allows Xavi Simons to come in and play that other 10 spot. And we're advancing in talks with Xavi Simons to agree personal terms, so it definitely seems like he is pushing for the move at the same time. Obviously, he was on 200,000 euros a week at Leipzig, but now he's probably going to take a pay cut to join Chelsea. Obviously, pounds to euros is a little bit different, so he might have been on like 170, 165, somewhere around there. But yeah, he's keen on the move. He's trying to push his way towards Chelsea. Chelsea are trying to get these personal terms done before they can go negotiate with Leipzig, ultimately to get a lower fee, because Xavi Simons has agreed personal terms with this if we do end up talking with them. But it seems like it's pretty much going to be done sometime in the near future, and Ben Jacobs says the same thing, that we're close to agreeing personal terms, and he's open to Chelsea and is more broadly prioritizing a Premier League move. So that's pretty much that to the Bayern Munich interest. Obviously, Bayern Munich were very interested in Xavi Simons, but it seems like that's not going to come to fruition anymore, because he just wants to come to the Premier League, and Chelsea are the team that are in for him. He's obviously going to prioritize us. Obviously, there's interest from Arsenal, but I do believe they're going for Eberechi as rather than Xavi Simons. And yeah, we're close to agreeing personal terms. I expect them to be agreed sometime today, and then maybe here we go in the coming days afterwards, after a couple days of negotiations with Leipzig. But things seem to be advancing very well for Xavi Simons. Yeah, really happy about the way that this deal is being facilitated. And it seems that we are pretty much coasting on the Xavi Simons deal, which I would have never expected to say for any club. I thought, there'd be a lot of competition around the name of Xavi Simons, but after joining Leipzig 6 months ago, he is now pretty much Chelsea bound at this point. And I think a really big ceiling raiser for us moving into next season when he does end up joining, and definitely something that I am very intrigued to watch, because I do love the profile that he brings to the squad, and it seems like he's pretty much Chelsea bound at this point. It's just whenever the clubs can agree a fee. And this was backed by the Secret Scout. He doesn't know when the date will be, but he believes that Xavi Simons will become a Chelsea player. And the only reason I put this is because the Secret Scout is very reputable. When he speaks, pretty much everyone listens. Obviously talks about a lot of academy stuff, youngsters and stuff like that, but he's been following Xavi Simons for a while. He says that Xavi Simons will become a Chelsea player, so it seems like it's not a matter of who, it's just a matter of when. On the likes of Xavi Simons, it's just when can the clubs agree a fee, when can we agree personal terms, and then he will definitely come through the door. So yeah, it seems like Xavi Simons is pretty much done and dusted on the market. It seems like Chelsea's pretty much slapped by his name at this point, and it's up to the clubs to agree a fee, because the fan base wants Xavi Simons to come through the door. Xavi Simons wants to come to Chelsea. Chelsea wants Xavi Simons. Red Bull Leipzig want to sell. Everything's working in our favor on this deal, and I'm really excited to see the player come to Chelsea, because I do fully expect him to ball out, to be honest. I don't think there's a question on that at all. I expect him to be one of our best players next season, to be honest. Not really much pressure on him with the transfer fee. And again, already going into a settled squad with settled tactics. He just has to learn the tactic, and then he will be able to excel himself, unlike Christopher Nkunku, who's undergoing a lot of change. So yeah, that's that on Xavi Simons. Very excited that this deal is about to go through. Yeah, I could talk about this all day. I absolutely love the player. Um, but oh, sorry, one more thing. Fabrizio says that the club-to-club talks are going to begin very soon. Chelsea working fast and working quick. Good relations between clubs discussing salary with Simmons. Any moment now, personal terms can be done. That's what I said. I expect personal terms to be done sometime today, to be honest. And then I expect Chelsea to, get the here we go in the coming days. Maybe while I'm out of town, I do fly in a couple hours now, but I'm trying to get this video out for y'all before I do end up flying. But club-to-club talks are going to begin very soon. We're trying to work fast, get this deal across the line in case anyone tries to hijack. And we do have good relations with Leipzig. Obviously, we bought Nkunku. Obviously, we bought Timo Werner. And now we're going to buy Xavi Simmons. Obviously, not the greatest CV when you hear Nkunku and Timo Werner. But I think Xavi Simmons is a different type of player than them. Not one of those 9 left-wing hybrids. Xavi Simmons is more of a 10 who can play the left wing or right wing. But yeah, good relations between clubs. Obviously, we've given them so much money in the past. And it seems any moment now the deal could be advancing and just down to the club-to-club talks. So now that's that on Xavi Simmons, moving on to Vega to Atletico Madrid. Renato Vega is pushing, as we know. Atletico Madrid and Chelsea have started club-to-club negotiations for Renato Vega with talks ongoing. Simeone hopes to get his new center back soon. So, this, again, could be a deal that we see done in the coming days. We showed the source earlier on from Atleti Universe saying that there's only minor details remaining between Atletico Madrid and Chelsea. And we have started club-to-club negotiations for Renato Vega. I don't know how much they'll end up paying. That might be 35 million euros instead of 35 million pounds, but any money that we make on Renato Vega is very good money. Obviously, a very good player. I think he would be a very good player at Atletico Madrid. But he's pushing for the move. We don't really have any bargaining chips on this deal, so whatever money we get, we're going to take. The only really negotiating strategy we have is that Bayern Munich may also be in for him, so we can try to hold off for a bidding war. But at the same time, if you're making triple your money, you might as well just send Renato Vega off to another club. And Atletico Madrid are really pushing for the signing and signature of Renato Vega. Obviously, personal terms don't seem to be an issue; they seem to be agreed. And now it is down to the clubs, and negotiations have already started. So, we could see a here we go for Vega in the coming days as well, which would mean a lot of money coming in for Chelsea. And we do have his technical replacement, even though he didn't really play for us last season. But his technical left back line, or left back backup, lined up already. And we'll talk about it in this video because we do make contact with someone, an exclusive from Fabrizio. But yeah, it seems like Vega is off to Atletico Madrid at this point. And moving on to Raheem Sterling, we talked about him headed off to Bayer Leverkusen. However, Florian Plettenberg says that the rumors linking Leverkusen with Raheem Sterling are wide off the mark. The 30-year-old is a top and experienced winger, however, he is not a target for Leverkusen, so maybe it is Juventus that is the secret club. However, I'm a little confused here because it was Semi Makbel that reported that Bayer Leverkusen is very interested in Raheem Sterling, and obviously he is a very reputable source with, top connections throughout the world. Someone that I rate very highly as a source, so I do think there might be some interest there. But Florian Plettenberg, obviously a very good German source, says that Bayer Leverkusen are not interested in Raheem Sterling. He's based in Germany, so may have been a brief from Chelsea's point of view to, try to get clubs to start acting on Raheem Sterling, saying that, oh, Bayer Leverkusen are very interested, so aren't y'all? But yeah, it seems like those weren't true. He's not a target for Leverkusen, so maybe the other name mentioned was Juventus, so maybe we see Juventus come in for Sterling. Obviously, the fee is nothing too substantial, and it doesn't seem like they're getting Jadon Sancho, so they may try to get Raheem Sterling through the door instead of Jadon Sancho, as Jadon Sancho's, most likely not really all too available because Juventus are not paying those personal terms with the player. And I don't know if Jadon Sancho's ever going to find a move, so, maybe Raheem Sterling does end up going to Juve. But, yeah, not a target for Leverkusen. Excuse me, I woke up not too long ago, as you can probably tell by my voice, but had to put out a video. But, yeah, these rumors are not true. Raheem Sterling is not going to go to Bayer Leverkusen, so maybe it is Juventus. But moving on to the second Dutch player of the day, we have Hato. News on Hato. Fabrizio Romano says with an exclusive, Chelsea have now made official club-to-club contact with Ajax for Joel Hato as the next top priority. Hato understood to be keen on the move and already prepared to accept personal terms at Chelsea. Negotiations ongoing with very good relationship between clubs. I'm glad to see that there's a good relationship between Chelsea and Ajax first and foremost, because obviously Ajax do have a lot of youngsters that come through that are very, very good players. Obviously you got Ziyech from there. Um, we're getting Hato from there. Um, so yeah, good to see that there's good relationship between the clubs, and we have made club to club contact with Ajax. I don't know if that means there is a bid, or if we're just trying to have a conversation to negotiate with Joel Hatso. But we're keen on the move. He's our priority signing for that defensive line, and this is the replacement to Renato Vega technically, because we could anticipate Joel Hatso playing backup left back, backup left center half, but getting a lot of game time in there as he just continues to develop a 19-year-old with all the talent in the world. Can I believe really kick on. The older Cucurella gets, the more I believe he'll kick on. Um, and he's our priority signing as of this moment. So maybe there could be a here we go in the coming days. Personal terms not an issue at all, and we are already negotiating between us and Ajax to try to get a fee over the line. So yeah, we could probably anticipate Joel Hato being a Chelsea player sometime in the near future, and I'm very excited for this. Obviously, a player that I like a lot, a profile that I like a lot, and I think really elevates our window because the one thing we need most is depth at that left back position. I think Joel Hato does do that perfectly. But more on Joel Hato. Ben Jacobs says Chelsea advancing on Ajax defender Joel Hato as he revealed last week. Club to club talks underway as Fabrizio Romano called. Personal terms not a problem following talks on player side. Ajax's pre-window valuation expected to drop even though Hato is contracted till 2028. So this pre-window valuation that we are talking about was actually in one of my older videos. Ajax valued him at 40 million while clubs were trying to strike a deal, or Ajax valued him around 60 million pounds, excuse me, while clubs were trying to get around 40 for him, or pay 40 for him. And I think that means that Ajax's valuation is expected to drop to around that 40 million pound mark, and Hato will become a Chelsea player for the fee that we want to pay instead of the fee that Ajax want to pay. Maybe we get 35 plus 5, something like that, instead of 60 mil, which Ajax were asking for, which I think everyone thought was a little rambunctious. But their valuation drops in negotiations. It seems like Joel Hato is going to be Chelsea bound, and it seems like we're going to be able to pay a pretty decent fee for a player of that age. Obviously, 40 million is pretty expensive for a 19-year-old, but he's well worth it. I mean, one of my favorite players. Um, don't watch the Eredivisie too much, but I love watching Ajax in Europe. And I think it was the Europa League last season that he really excelled in. Obviously, was Dutch Young Player of the Season as well. Just a really exciting talent at that, and really excited to see Joel Hato potentially come through the door. And it seems like he is Chelsea bound at this point too. That's why I said there's double Dutch swoop going on at Chelsea, because Joel Hato seems to be near a Chelsea player as well, which is great news. Um, Fabrizio said that Joel Hato is actually wanted by several clubs, but he would be very keen to join Chelsea. Um, I don't know about this, to be honest. I know several clubs would definitely be in and around the mix. We know Arsenal was there, we know Liverpool was there, but I don't know if anyone's actually going in for him because I don't think many teams really need a left back like that. Obviously, Arsenal have Lewis Skelly, who's a very young and talented left back. Um, Liverpool just came in for Kirkish. Unless they see Joel Hato playing left center back, then that could be an option for them. But yeah, it seems like Chelsea have a pretty clear road for Joel Hato, and it seems like he's keen to join Chelsea. So I don't. Maybe he is wanted by several clubs, but I don't know if these several clubs are actually going to go in for him. It seems like Chelsea pretty much have the clearest path to sign Joel Hato at this point. So yeah, really, really positive news there because it seems like no one's really rifling us for the signature of Joel Hato. But more. One detail I can add is that Chelsea and Ajax have great relations, and there could be room to discuss more players, like young Chelsea players going on loan there. Ajax are famous for developing talents. I put this alongside the Joel Hato news because this is obviously going to come up in negotiations for Joel Hato, but, if we could get a Tyreek George loan, if we could get a Josh Achampong loan, something like that, even an Ansel Mina loan, I think would be great. I would definitely strive to push those in negotiations. Obviously, players that need loan moves, but you know, I think that's a great platform for them to have a loan move and really excel. Maybe we add Ajax to the multi club model. Obviously a great club, a very historic club at that. Haven't really been doing too well as of recently. Obviously they have PSV, they have AZ Alkmaar, all those teams that are really playing well. But yeah, apparently we have very good relations with Ajax. I actually do have an Ajax jersey, funnily enough. Maybe wear it today out of tribute for them. But yeah, we have really good relations with them. So maybe we could see players go out the other way in terms of loan deals. Andrew had to come this way permanently. So it's great news. Great to see that having great relations with teams means that we could potentially, set ourselves up greatly because obviously the more loan deals we can secure are fantastic. And it seems like that would allow us to also bargain a little bit for Drill Hato to come the other way. Um, but yeah, it seems like Drill Hato is pretty much Chelsea bound at this point. And maybe there are players the other way headed out on loan, like a Terry George or like a Josh or an Ansel Mina, someone like that, or a Giyu. Um, but yeah, that is that, and headed over to Kieran Dewsbury Hall. This is the last thing we were talking about. Apparently, Fulham are interested in Kieran Dewsbury Hall, exploring a loan or a permanent deal. This kind of intrigues me. I think they'd be willing to pay. Obviously, they have Emil Smith Rowe who can play a similar role, but they play with two players in that like advanced eight. And I think Kieran Dewsbury Hall can definitely do that. I think Fulham would be willing to pay. Um, yeah, really good player, really good professional. Again, someone that I'd like to keep around just because I think he's happy with the role he plays at Chelsea. Just being at Chelsea, I think he's happy with. Um, but if Fulham want to give the money that we paid for Kieran Dewsbury Hall, I don't think anything's stopping his exit. And at the end of the day, if he wants to go out and get first team minutes, then he definitely can. Or well, permanent first team minutes, like starting multiple games a week. I think he could definitely go off and do that, and I don't think anyone will cause a fuss. So yeah, seems like KDH is headed off to potentially a London rival in Fulham. Expected to be around that 30 million that we paid for him, but whatever we get, I think Chelsea aren't really going to hold back from if KDH wants to move. But yeah, Fulham are apparently in for KDH, and that is everything for today's news video. There is a lot that came in the last couple of hours, so yeah, if you did enjoy this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Again, I'm going to be gone for the next 2 days. There's not going to be any news videos for 2 days, but yeah, if you did enjoy this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Please show the channel some support while I'm gone. It would mean a lot, but in the meantime, as always, it's Repulse, and I'm out. Peace.